Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very odd episode of Chris's Collection. So basically, the last PlayStation game I had is a game that it's X-Men Mutant Academy, and the basically the game I've had issues recording it, and I'll explain in a moment. So basically, I put it into my PS3, and my PS3 literally plays all my PlayStation 1 games except X-Men Mutant Academy. And I looked it up online, and apparently this is an issue everyone has. For some reason, the emulation on the super slim PS3s, and I think all the emulations on all the PS3s cannot run X-Men Mutant Academy. So I said, oh, okay, no problem. What I'll do is I have a PlayStation. I have a PS1, the slim one, that still works. The only thing was I was missing composite cables and I was missing a AC adapter. So I said, no problem. I'll go online. I'll buy some. I'm sure it won't cost that much. It'll ship here. I'll record on an all natural PlayStation, and everything should be fine. Did that, and apparently my PS1 doesn't work anymore because it just stays stuck at the Sony Computer Entertainment logo, the white screen, and does not move past that. So I was very upset and very annoyed that I couldn't do it, and I went through all that trouble. But I still want to tell the story behind it. I don't want to skip a game. So anyway, guys, sorry for the crudity of this recording, but for the last PlayStation game in my collection, here is the story of X-Men Mutant Academy. So basically, the game, I got it. Uh, it was a gift from my parents. They had gone to California, and they asked me, "Is there anything that you would like for us to bring you back from California?" And I said, well, and the thing was back then, this was around circa 2000, I think. I was a huge collector of X-Men toys. I'm sorry, not X-Men. Star Wars toys. And I just loved collecting them. I had a subscription to Toy Fair magazine. I don't know if you guys, know of that magazine, and I was just super stoked. I would collect things, and there was an action figure from the Power of the Force line, and it was Luke from Empire Strikes Back. When he confronts Vader at the end of the movie, it was called Bespin Luke, and or Luke Skywalker and his Bespin fatigues or whatever. And I tried looking for that thing. It was so hard to find. I would call this store all the time. I think it was called Things from Another World, and they still exist. They're a website now. And I would call them because you had to call them back then. And I would always talk and always say, "Hey, do you guys have it? Do you guys, whatever?" And they never had, they just never had it available. And so one day so my parents were like, "What do you want?" And I said, "I would love to have Luke, Bespin Luke." And they're like, "Okay." And so my parents called me one day and they're like, "Hey," they were in California on a trip and we didn't go for some reason. And they called me and they're like, "Hey, we got it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And they're like, "What else do you want though?" And I'm like, "I can get more." And they're like, "Yeah, what would you like? How about some video games? Do you want some video games?" I go, "Plural, as in how many?" And they're like, "Two. We'll get you two new video games, whatever you want." I'm like, "Oh." So I think I told the story already, but I got Dino Crisis 2 was one of them. It just came out. And then I still do, go to IGN and I would read reviews. And around this time, there's a fighting game, an X-Men fighting game called X-Men Mutant Academy. And I had heard that came out. And I'd just seen the X-Men movie. And I'm like, "Oh my God, can you guys get me X-Men Mutant Academy also?" And they're like, "Dino Crisis 2 and X-Men Mutant Academy, you got it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah." And so the kind of PS of the story that I thought was really funny was they came home and the Bespin Luke wasn't the real Bespin Luke. It was like a statue of Luke. It wasn't the actual Kenner action figure. And I just didn't have the heart to tell them, "Oh, you guys got the wrong one." And I eventually did get it later on, but I just didn't have the heart. I couldn't tell them that. I thought it'd be fucked up. And but I did have these two new games, and I very much enjoyed them. X-Men Mutant Academy, I don't remember what the gameplay was like. I remember it was really cool that they had the X-Men movie costumes in it. I thought that was really neat. But I don't remember because I cannot play it. Every time I do like a retro gaming night, I cannot play this game. So maybe one day I'll play it. But anyway, I hope I apologize for the crudity of this video, but I did want to give a finale to the PlayStation section, and so I have. Anyway, guys, starting next week we're done with PlayStation, so we'll be moving on to Nintendo 64. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to start next week, and also be on the lookout later this month for an all-new RBD, Retrospectives Be Damned. It's episode 21, so it should be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you in a few weeks with. Actually, we'll see you next week with another episode of Chris's Collection. Take care, guys.